Join us and the rest of the ASOTU More Than Cars crew for ASOTU's NADA Show Sessions, a podcast live from all the action.
We're bringing the best conversations straight to you.
All right, I'm here with Doug Miller, president of Cars Commerce. It's so fun to have these conversations year after year after year because every time I show up at this booth, and now it's been a lot of years, I'm always like, these folks have been busy.
We have been busy. And even busier this year, right?
It seems like it. I mean, like now you walk between the booth and it keeps going when you walk around. You keep adding new brands, new logos, new developments. Can we talk about...
And you know, of course, and we share this in common, it is not about us, it is about the industry, right? Like, our busyness is about helping local automotive, and for decades, that's what we've been thinking. Local retailers in automotive, they have a lot of complexity, and we are trying
increasing
to
complexity,
and we're trying to make it simpler, like simpler to buy cars, simpler to sell cars.
You mentioned buying cars, so I think one of the biggest announcements, and I think still has some people a little puzzled and surprised, or a combination of, is your acquisition of this little startup called Dealer Club.
Dealer Club.
And a lot of people are like, what the heck is Dealer Club? And then they hear who founded Dealer Club, Joe Neiman, and you're like, oh, well, he also founded ACV, and then everyone's head kind of snaps too.
Right, I mean, so that pedigree, right, Joe, and all of what he's done in retail, and then...
Who was a dealer, right?
He was a dealer. He understood a pain point, he worked on the problem, but he just, even like Hollinshead, thought, I can do this better. I have another way of doing this. And philosophically, we are so aligned as an organization with Joe because he's thinking about the reputation as the way to lead in a wholesale auction. Rather than making it all opaque, let's make it all transparent, a conversation between a seller and a buyer, and their reputations stand there. Just like on Airbnb, where you would decide on where you're going to stay based on the reputation of the host. Well, let's be really transparent about the reputation of the buyer and the seller. Let those reputations build, and the good actors are going to rise to the top, and organically they're going to be moving cars back and forth with one another all the time, and the bad actors will organically move out.
You know, this is really in line with the DNA of the company in general, because you think of your commitment to dealers, but also you have this dual-sided marketplace where you have this commitment to the consumer. And when DealerRater originally came in, it was like, well, the voice of the consumer is the one that is going to inform the other consumers.
And that's why I say we're so philosophically aligned. We are the largest database of consumer reviews in automotive, and we've been working on that for a long time. And not only that, it's not just consumer reviews of dealerships, it's consumer reviews of salespeople with salesperson.
That's right.
And that's a huge way for dealers to differentiate and tell their story and make it about more than just price or commodity. It's about the experience. Well, this is no different in the wholesale space. Like, there should be a reputation and transparency around that reputation, and that then allows for trading to go on and exchanges to go on. That's about trust.
You know, so Joe spent a lot of his early career in the lanes.
Yes.
Right? And in Buffalo, New York, right? And, you know, it's really close to Toronto or in Canada, right? So the Buffalo auctions, there's this real, gritty nature to it, right?
Yeah.
And
I think in all auctions almost, right?
That's true. I'm painting Buffalo. It's cold, and there's snow, and they want the Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Salt.
Right? That's a little bit. And all dealers or all wholesalers can very quickly relate to, oh, you know the guy when he runs a car.
Yeah.
You know it's good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or you know a guy, when he runs a car, you better look at it twice.
Yeah.
Or the guy, when he runs a car, you're never going to look at it no matter how cheap it is.
Well, in that conversation, though, that takes place in the lanes, and I don't have the background that Joe has or you have or members of my team have, but they describe a conversation that takes place where it's just transparent. Like, look, I didn't even look at that car. I don't know. And they'll share that information, and that drives trust.
Yeah. And it speeds transactions.
Yeah.
Right. Trust drives speed. just like we talk about with the consumer, in wholesale, it also does that.
And so digital shouldn't make it more opaque. Digital should make it more transparent. It's social media meets the auction. Like it's LinkedIn meets the auction. Like everyone should have a profile, and then it should be known, and it should be transparent, and that reputation should lean forward in order to help those transactions and speed them up. And it's also part of our commitment. It's a perfect adjacency to Accu-Trade, which is also about transparency and helping the consumer to know and trust that the number that a dealership is putting on a car is based on what is the market data,
right.
and whether they have two keys or not, and what color that is. That universal condition report really tells them. It even does the mechanical history of the car, as you know. It reads that
That's
in,
right.
and it tells them, look, this is the number we can put on it, and they can lean forward, and there's trust that's built through that. So it's all part of the ethos, right?
It's like
part
this
of the
combo
ethos.
of trust and speed. The wholesale transaction market, new frontier, right? But the tie-in with Accu-Trade makes all the sense in the world. I think of, I'm going to call them characters. And like characters like Brian Kramer. He's a character.
Yes.
Characters like Joe Neiman. Different kind of character, but a character.
So smart, both of them.
I wish I could be a fly on the wall for their conversations because it's got to be a riot. Tell me, what else are you excited about? We talked a lot about wholesale and used cars. What else?
Yeah, I think right now the Cars Media Network, right? And so, there are these three pain points that we hear over and over again. And this year, used cars, of course, is right at the top and acquiring them well. But the second pain point that we hear often is marketing is expensive and inefficient. And how can you help us to make marketing, what we do, whether it's digital, whatever, more efficient? And we think a lot about that problem. And one of the core capabilities of our interoperable platform is Cars.com, and 25 million consumers come every month, and they leave signal data about what it is that they're interested in, and we help, in addition to just straight down the middle, get on the marketplace and present your inventory there. We help dealers market themselves to that audience in their region, in their local area, in their local community. And those are real consumers who are in market for a car. And let me put this in perspective now. What does that mean? When our Dealer Inspire division works with thousands of dealers who trust them with their marketing budgets, when our Dealer Inspire division looks at and compares the monies they spend to reach the Cars Media Network audience to the Google audience, the Google audience are 5 times more expensive than the Cars Media Network audience for the conversions they want.
And that's true, because the quality of the data.
It's quality, and you're like, we're not going to have the scale of Google. No
one just generally browses Cars.com unless you have a certain level of intent.
It is the automotive search engine, right?
That's a great way to put
intent
it.
to sell or intent to buy, right? Like both of them are there, and it's real intent. So it dovetails with the other pieces that we're bringing into the platform, the marketplace, the media network, our trade and appraisal capabilities, and world-class websites through Dealer Inspire.
Well, I can't even imagine what you're going to have working next year. It's exciting to see all the things you're doing this year, especially with the heart that you all do it with, which is trust, transparency, speed, technology, all balled into one. You definitely are kind of people. Thank you so much for sharing some time today.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, we're all in it to help the local automotive dealers to succeed.
That's right. Thank you.
Thanks.